Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the supply shortages that have been going on recently. And even though it might not have happened overnight, and you may not have even noticed it quite yet in your day-to-day life, but it might just start slowly creeping in where you'll be noticing certain things. And that's just due to the breaking down of a lot of the supply chain in different areas and different factors, and that's leading to a lot of shortages in a lot of different areas that will be affecting you in your day-to-day life. And this article that I found was talking about the chances and likelihood that this shortage is going to go into the precious metals and is going to start affecting silver and gold. Now, I remember earlier this year, there was talk of shortage and everything. I remember the U.S. Mint kind of got in a little bit of hot water for saying that the global shortage of silver was why they had to postpone their pre-order for the new Morgan and Peace dollars. Then they had to come back and say it was just the planchets that they were in short. It was basically they didn't want to be paying the extra money that they would have had to get the planchets that they need to print. They need to mint up the coins that they do. So back then, if there was or wasn't an actual shortage, it was in everyone's consciousness. It was in everyone's mind. Anyone who's a stacker for a long time there was hearing about the shortages that everyone was feeling. I do know that a lot of people weren't buying at that time. Just the premiums were too high, and a lot of people weren't looking to buy. I did pick up some things there. I picked up some silver and some gold. The premiums and everything like that were what you expected. They were very high, but I didn't have much trouble finding anything that I wanted to pick up. It didn't seem like there was much of a shortage to any of the coins that I wanted to grab. It was just, you had to pay that price for them, so the premiums were that much higher. But that brings me to today's video. It's an article that I found that is going over some of the shortages that we've been experiencing and what to expect in the near future with that, and also if you should expect to see this spill over into the precious metal markets. All right, so this is the article here. It's on moneymetals.com, and the title is "Will Shortages in the Economy Extend to Precious Metals?" And then jumping right into it, says, for the first time in most Americans' lifetimes, they are having to navigate chronic shortages, from bare shelves at discount stores to contract labor being unavailable. The supply of goods and services is seemingly unable to keep up with demand. So yeah, that's definitely something that's been coming up quite often. I've been seeing it in many articles that I'm reading and other videos that I've been watching, and you just keep hearing about the more shortages and the supply chain disruptions that are coming up. And they just give some examples here of some of the shortages that we've been seeing. It says a shortage of bicycles and component parts is expected to persist through 2022. Used and new cars in such short supply that fair value pricing is impossible for buyers to negotiate. Disposable medical gloves are so difficult to come by that used ones are being superficially cleaned and repackaged for export to substandard facilities in Thailand. That is disgusting. That's pretty gross. That's something I would not want to get, is refurbished, recycled medical gloves. That's gross. Then here's the American Society of Health System Pharmacists lists 192 drugs in short supply. So again, that is going to be something that could be very harmful to a lot of people if the particular drug that they need to live is in short supply, and either they don't have any of it or the price is shot up so much that they can't afford it. So that's going to be something to keep your eye on for a lot of people, that this might be impacting them directly, and it could be very dangerous for some people. Moving on, it says hotels are curtailing basic services such as housekeeping due to staffing shortages. Again, that's not as disgusting as the medical gloves, but that's still pretty gross. I hate going into hotel rooms fully cleaned, you know what I mean? Even though the down service has come in and the room service, they've come in and cleaned the room, I still find most hotel rooms just absolutely disgusting. Another thing here is businesses and home office workers are struggling to obtain desks, chairs, and paper. So again, just more shortages that we're seeing in a multitude of different areas. So again, those have been some notable shortages, and it's all over the map. It's not just in one segment that you're seeing shortages. It's all over the place, from these medical gloves to bicycles to where was it? Nike. So Nike warned a recent earnings call that production and delivery shortfalls would persist through at least next spring. So again, it's in many different fields that we're seeing a lot of shortages. So I skipped through a little bit of the article. If you do want to read the entire thing, I always leave a link in the description so you can go back and go through the whole thing if you'd like. But I'm just picking up here a little ways down the article. It says, while the Fed insists that recent high inflation readings are transitory and that long-term inflation expectations remain anchored at 2%, investors can't afford to take central planners' word for it. So this is where it's starting to get into the metals and what could possibly be coming, around the corner. It says, if investors' psychology begins to shift towards inflation protection and hunkering down financially, the bullion market could quickly see demand overwhelm supply. Shortages of retail gold and silver products would mean premium spikes and possible carryover into surging spot prices as well. So yes, it says it right there, premium spikes. That's no surprise. If, there's a shortage in the gold and silver bullion, you're going to see the premium spike up before, but most likely you're going to see the premium spike up before you'll see spot price move in any significant way, sustainably, you know what I mean? Over the past couple of years, the perpetual dysfunction of the U.S. Mint, a government bureaucracy, has consistently failed to produce adequate quantities of its gold and silver American coins. Demand continues to strain available inventories, and I expect that to continue regardless. If we do happen to miss a shortage in the precious metals on gold and silver, I still expect the U.S. Mint to be a dysfunctional mess. It says, after selling around 15 million silver eagles in 2019, demand for the coins more than doubled in 2020. This year is on track to exceed that total, with 27 million silver eagles sold so far in 2021. And that is including the shutdown that they needed to do for the transition between the American Eagle Type 1 and Type 2. So they weren't producing any of them for a while in that April-May area of this year. So that's even more impressive that they're on pace to outperform 2020 as far as production of silver eagles. Then the demand for gold eagles has soared since last year. After selling only 108,000 in 2019, the U.S. Mint got hit with 747,000 orders in 2020, and it has already sold 928,000 of its iconic gold coins in 2021. Scarcity of eagles, along with other bullion products, is keeping premiums elevated. And you have to remember that the shortage in the silver and gold and precious metals, it might not actually be because there's a shortage of the physical silver and gold. It could be a holdup, or there could be a blockade or a blockage somewhere along the supply chain. It could be elevated gas prices are causing a lot of the transportation of these metals from the refineries to the bullion markets and all that, and just regular delivery to your the supply chain. There's so many factors that go into that, and if one of them happens to go down, or if one of them is slowed down, that affects the entire chain down the line. So we're dealing with a lot more things than just the price of silver and the price of gold and the scarcity of each of those two. So yes, it's not just an actual shortage of the physical silver and gold. There could actually be plenty of that, an abundance of it, but it could be just the elevated costs of transporting it to where it needs to go, the elevated cost of the labor that it needs to be in working in the places to refine it. So it's all those things that are factored in together that will affect the price of silver and gold going into the future. And if there's significant disruptions in the supply chain and the process of what silver and gold need to go to from the mining or the recycling back to the refining, getting it into the bullion, and then getting it into people's and stackers' hands, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's not just on the metal side. It says the good news is that those who hold hard to get precious metals will be in the driver's seat. They can choose to sell whenever they believe prices, including potential buyback premiums over spot are high enough. So that's where I see a lot of people in my comments that they want to see silver spot price continue to go up. A lot of them want to see it shoot the moon overnight because they are no longer buying. They're no longer in accumulation mode. They've been buying for decades. They have a low dollar cost average. Now they're looking to cash out and do whatever it is they'd like to do with what they've been saving their stack for. If they'd like to use it for retirement, if they'd like to use it to get a cottage, if they want to get another vehicle, whatever it is, it's their stack, it's their money. And if they want to move it from one asset to another, then I can see why they would like to see the spot price of silver and gold continue to go up. So yes, I am not looking to sell, but I am still accumulating. And the precious metals, the hard to get precious metals right now, silver and gold aren't particularly hard to get. You can still get your hands on them if you want to pay the certain price that they're asking. But in the future, it might get to a point where even getting your hands on the stuff will be difficult. So if you want to continue to stack and you haven't met some of your stacking goals, or if you just started and want to continue putting your stack away, then unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with some of these premiums. But in the long run, you just have to look at it as a physical savings account for yourself. Your stack will help to hedge against inflation. And if spot price happens to go up where it covers your premium and you're not in the hole anymore, then that's a bonus as well. It says, if government-induced inflation and supply disruptions continue to get worse, changes to today's bullion prices will look far low compared to where they are headed. So that's just basically wrapping everything up there, where if you think that the prices are high now, they're suggesting that if this shortage were to get really bad for silver and gold, then these prices will almost look like a discount. But yes, that is the article that I wanted to show you there. Like I said while I was reading through it, I always leave a link in the description to every article that I do a video on. So if you would like to, read the entire article, then you can just go ahead and do that. So yeah, that is it for the video there. That's the article that I want to talk about. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you think we are heading towards a shortage in the silver and gold, the physical bullion market. I'm still in accumulation mode, so that wouldn't be the best thing for me. I do want to be able to pick up silver and gold when I can. As I said, I have a set price in my head that I won't go over, a percentage over spot that I just won't spend on premium. But I'm hoping that I will still have the opportunity to pick up what I want when I want. If it starts to get to where I can't even get my hands on, say, some quarter-ounce gold maples or some generic silver rounds, if they're all sold out on all the bullion, the online bullion dealers, then that's something that would surprise me. I don't expect it to get that far. I don't think we're going to be seeing the equivalent of empty grocery shelves on the online bullion dealers. Now, that's not to put it past them to continue to jack up the premiums and use the shortage as an excuse as to why they are doing it. And it will be very easy to see right through it. They'll claim that they had to raise the prices because of the shortage. But you'll never see like a sold out sign on any of the coins, the most popular coins. If you see that, if you see them justifying the increase in premiums because of a shortage, and you never see them sell out of Maple Leafs or American Silver Eagles or Britannias, if you always consistently see an in-stock inventory and they claim to be a shortage, well then you kind of know what's going on. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think, and so just let me know down in the comments. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.